I want to thank you all for dropping in for the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, everyone. This game has pleasantly been a great surprise, and if only because the gameplay has been incredible and the story has been wow, you know? It's been pretty endearing. So we're going to continue onwards and see where it goes, so I hope you all continue to enjoy watching. Let's keep it rolling. Alright guys, and we're back. Yes, Lord Strongheart. Thank you for offering me a chance. Mr. Naruhodo. I'm sorry, Miss Susato, but what could I do? It's alright. I understand. You do? It's not an easy decision to choose whether to defend a man in these circumstances. But resolve has absolutely nothing to do with it. What are you trying to say, madam? I think what Miss Susato means is that no matter how badly I'd like to be recognized as a lawyer and stay here in Great Britain, to risk another man's life by treating this one and only chance at a trial so trivially would be utterly unforgivable, and I feel exactly the same way. Wow, they had like 2 adventures together and already they're like in sync. I'm sure the defendant won't see this trial as a test, as some kind of experiment. A lawyer may fight for his clients in court day after day, but for each one of those clients, the particular day they stand in the dock may be the only chance they have to fight to prove their innocence. No, I was wrong. I'm not qualified to do that job yet. I'm sorry for wasting your precious time, Lord Chief Justice. Wait, Mr. Naruhodo. Oh, that conviction. Oh, was there something else? It's approximately 20 minutes by carriage to the Old Bailey from here. If you leave immediately, you should still be there in time. But I just said that. I was quite serious in what I told you. The defendant in this case has literally no one to advocate for him. What? At this point, he can't hope to find someone to represent him. The trial will begin without a defense. And if that happens, there's only one possible outcome. He will receive the most severe sentence the judge can pass down. Oh man, you're really leaving me no choice, huh? But that's awful. But that is the truth. Why does it have to be like this? Please don't expect an answer to every question. The cold, hard truth of the matter is that there is only one person now with a chance to save this man from a very miserable end. And that is you. I'm really his only hope? So, what do you say now, madam? Me? What do you mean, Lord Strongheart? You said it was an easy decision to choose whether to defend a man in these circumstances, and I agree. But in my estimation, it is purely and simply a matter of resolve. Oh. Our time is up here. I have a meeting to attend. You know, one of the cool things about this guy is that he has a thing for time. Like, every minute of every second matters to him. That's what's cool. I like that. I must leave in 2 minutes and 16 seconds. Wow. Approximate at that. So, venture into our great city and enjoy yourselves. He's gone. The Old Bailey. If we're going to do this, Mr. Naruhodo, we must leave at once. Oh, what are we waiting for? Let's go. February 18, 9:45 a.m. The Old Bailey, defendant's antechamber. Oh man, I'm getting deja vu. Oh, thank goodness we're in time. There's still 15 minutes until the trial begins. I never knew a horse-drawn carriage could go so fast. I thought my teeth were going to rattle loose. Did you hear what I said to the driver when we climbed aboard? get us to our destination in 5 minutes, driver, and there's a guinea in it for you. Well, that can't be good. It's one of my favorite lines from the Herlock Sholmes stories, and it worked quite perfectly. Oh wow, I can't say perfectly. Perfectly. I'm not sure why you're so pleased. I thought we were gonna die, and we had to pay gold for the privilege. Well, at least we arrived here before the trial started. Yes, I suppose there's that. Anyway, I don't understand it. The court clerk said the defendant should be here, but there's no sign of him at all. So, this is the Old Bailey. Even this room for defendants to wait in is grand. Are you alright, Mr. Nothold'em? I'm feeling tense, that's all. This place gives me the same sense of foreboding that I remember from the Supreme Court in Japan. An oppressive air, almost as if the building itself is gonna crush whoever is about to be sentenced. It feels like only yesterday that I was the one about to be crushed. Yes, whoever the man you're to defend is, I imagine he's feeling very alone at this moment. Top of the morning to you, madam. Sir. What are you doing following me here? Things are fair desperate, are they? Sorry? Would you look at those expressionless faces? From the east, are yous? We're from Japan, yes. Ah, Japan, is it? Right. Say no more. So, how much do yous need? No, we're just here because... No need to explain, fella. I've been there myself, so I have. No place to go, nothing to eat, barely a penny to your name, and all while in strange faraway land. Well, actually, we haven't found a place to stay yet, no. 'Tis grand, 'tis grand. Let me start by giving you 1,000 guineas, say nothing now. Huh? 1,000 guineas? Please, Mr. Sato, you don't have to shout. But 1,000 guineas is enough to build an entire mansion in the most prestigious area of Tokyo. What? 'Tis nothing to me at all. I like to ensure I have sufficient funds to weather a rainy day, you see. I have enough wealth to buy the city of London 2 or 3 times over. Could that much rain even fall in one day? Well, even so, we couldn't possibly accept such a large sum of money. Ah, that hit me in the eye. Don't get me wrong, fella. I'm not giving it to you, no strings attached. I'll be wanting you to do something for me. No? To be honest, 'tis a little embarrassing. The trial that's about to begin, you see, is for me good self here. I'll be in the dock. So now, what I want you to do is come along with me and stand there beside me. Officially, you'd be my lawyer, but that's just a little detail now. Well, the thing is, don't worry about a thing. All you have to do is stand up there next to me, nothing more. Otherwise, you see, the trial's gonna start without me having any kind of representation at all. So it was true. The Lord Chief Justice wasn't just making it all up. I'm terribly sorry to have to ask, but... does that mean you're the defendant in this trial? Bluster and blazes, do yous not know who I am? Me? One of London's biggest names? No, sorry. We've only just arrived in the city, you see. I see. I suppose it isn't altogether impossible. Well, just next to Hyde Park there in the center of London is another beautiful park. Sorry, a park? What? 'Tis called Mcgilded Park, full of blossoming flowers in the spring and singing birds and whatnot. I donated to the city, so I did. This guy, man. And an entire park in central London? A city of smiles, that's my vision for London. There's nothing Magnus Mcgilded wouldn't do for the city and its square old people. That's such a cool name, Magnus Mcgilded. That's amazing. I mean, really extraordinary. But now they have the gall to say I'm a good-for-nothing criminal. Me, Magnus Mcgilded. What is the matter with the London police, I ask you? Alright, don't pass out. Mr. Naruhodo. Perhaps now would be a good time to introduce ourselves while the gentleman catches his breath. Good idea. Mr. Mcgilded, the thing is, we're actually here in London to study British law. We're a law student on a study tour from Japan, you see. So, if you don't have a lawyer for the trial yet, and you'd be happy to put your... What I was after saying, you daft Egypt. I've given you 1,000 guineas to stand up there next to me, haven't I? Well, yes, but I wasn't really offering to just stand up there next to you. Oh, I think I see what's going on here. Sorry, I know what you're thinking. This chance a fella claims to have more money than the Queen. But if that's true, why the blazes can he hire the finest lawyer in all England? Because he did it. That's the only explanation. Well, no. Not at all. Although it is a little strange to be honest. Why you don't have a lawyer, I mean. That would be the fault of the Reaper. Sorry? Did he just say Reaper? Aye, the Grim Reaper of the Bailey, Lord Barrack Van Zeeks. He's the prosecutor. The prosecutor is the Grim Reaper? When Van Zeeks stands for the prosecution, they call the accused his sacrificial lambs. And to this day, in every single trial in which he's been the prosecutor, the accused has been damned. What? So it reached the desperate situation, where there's no one willing to stand in defense against the fella at all. You could say he's a living legend of the Old Bailey. Goodness, Lord Barrack Van Zeeks. He must be an exceptionally talented prosecutor then. Talented isn't the word you're looking for, madam. It's cursed. Cursed? What on earth? The defendant is summoned and his counsel. Please make your way into the courtroom. The trial is about to begin. His counsel. That would be me. Oh, here we go, guys. Back in trial. Oh, 'tis time. Well then, fella, don't let me down. But I don't know anything about the case. You haven't told me what happened. I made up my mind, so I had. Sorry? I've decided I have to defend myself in there. How would that have worked? But then you made an appearance, a student of law, wouldn't you know? 'Tis no accident, I can assure you of that. 'Tis fate. So don't get cold feet now, please. This guy is a fine actor if he is, you know? If he even is. I literally know nothing about the case or about this man who stands accused. In fact, the only thing I do know is that I can't just turn my back on him. Mr. Naruhodo. The man has no one. He'll have to stand alone in that courtroom armed with nothing to defend himself. Yes, something that Kazuma would never have allowed to happen. Counsel for the defense, what are you doing? If you're late for the start of the trial, you will lose your right to stand. I'll be right here. Oh, right there. It's happening then. My first trial in a British court. I hope you're watching over me, Kazuma. Because I have no idea how I'm going to manage this. February 18th, 10 a.m., the Old Bailey courtroom. Alright guys, you're gonna have to give me a minute because once again, I'm playing on a keyboard and mouse now because certain aspects of the game don't work when I'm playing with the PS4 controller. So let me learn the controls for a bit for the courtroom, for this courtroom drama we're going into. Alright, PC game config. Alright, no, that's not what I'm looking for. Okay, so E is for, oh wait, I just want to see. Court record is E. People, evidence, press review scene. Okay, so to press someone's statement would be Q. All right. Rotate. I don't have to worry about that. Okay, so the important buttons I need to remember is Q and E. Hopefully they tell me that when I'm in the mid-game. All right. Let's get to it. Look at this courtroom, man. Oh, this time he's standing. I'm proud. So this is the highest court in Great Britain, the Old Bailey. The centuries of history in this place is palpable, isn't it? It's so different to the Supreme Court in Japan. It feels both imposing and serene at the same time. The atmosphere almost makes words redundant. Whatever the country, determining a person's guilt or innocence is always a solemn affair. May I say something, Mr. Naruhodo? Oh, yes. What? Your eyes look ready to pop out of your head again. I know, but I just can't help it. Why am I saying Dracula there? In the name of her Wow. Mash. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. We are here today to determine the guilt or innocence of Mr. Magnus Mcgilded. I now call upon the counsels for the prosecution and defense to declare their willingness to proceed. The prosecution is fully prepared. Look at this guy. Am I facing off against Dracula? That must be the Reaper of the Bailey. He really does look fully prepared to dispatch his next poor victim to the underworld. Counsel for the defense, you appear to be Eastern. Do you speak English? Oh, yes, of course. Sorry. But he asked if the defense was ready. And I couldn't be further from ready if I tried. Those eyes please me. Nipponese. They shroud your fear, your doubt, your trepidation. They run wild, clinging to some phantom notion of courage. The quintessential look of a sacrificial lamb. Okay, guy, I really don't like you, man. A cold shiver just ran down my spine all the way to the tips of my toes. Now, Mr. Mcgilded. Yes, my lord. You stand accused of murder, a capital offense. You could be sent to the gallows if found guilty. Are you quite sure you wish to entrust your defense to this foreigner? As I've always said, my lord, 'tis a grand thing to give opportunities to the young. Even if the fella is a student from some little island off in the far east. Is it not the British way to ignore the dangers to yourself and give those less fortunate a fair chance? I like to think that acts of chivalry do the great British Empire proud. Listen to Mr. Mcgilded. What a fine gentleman London had. Did you hear that he had donated £5,000 to the government the other day? Mother, please, may we go and play with Mcgilded? Oh my gosh. Mcgilded Park. It seems as though everyone in the public gallery is firmly behind Mr. Mcgilded. That's definitely a welcome news, and he certainly has a way with words. I'm surprised he couldn't convince anyone to defend him. Eloquently put, Mr. Mcgilded, and most laudable sentiments. Now, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I'm sure I need hardly remind you that you 6 members of the public have been selected for your impartiality. Are you ready to proceed? Impartiality. Yes, my lord. If the task is to send rotters to the gallows where they belong, I'm more than ready. At the manor, his lordship always says we should dispose of rubbish promptly. Naturally, I agree. Ha! Any criminals here will soon be wishing they never set eyes on me. Okay. Is he drinking? Is that allowed? I'm pretty sure that's not allowed. Unless he's drinking something else in that flask. I feel a chill. You got an old granny in there. This doesn't bode well. Oh, don't mind me, my dears. I'll just be getting on with my knitting. Must finish these mitts for my grandson. I don't know why I said it like that. Mr. Naruhodo, those people are... The jury, yes, that's something we don't have in Japan yet. That's right, I've only ever read about it. But here in Great Britain, the court's final verdict depends on the opinions of these 6 jurors. The judge passes sentence according to the law, but the jurors determine guilt based on common sense. So the defendant is ultimately judged from 2 completely different points of view. But how exactly do the jurors give their verdict? That, I don't know, but I'm sure it will become clear as the trial progresses. Yes. Prosecutor Van Zeeks. My lord. It's been a number of years since we've seen you here in the courtroom. I thought you renounced your fame. I'm known as the Reaper of the Bailey, my lord. Infamy rather than fame, I would say. But yes, 5 years have passed since I last spread my wings in this capacity. So, what brings you back? Is there some change or circumstance of which the court should be aware? I leave that to your imagination, my lord. So the Reaper has been out of action for 5 years. Why did he have to choose today of all days to make a comeback? My sentiments exactly, Naruhodo. Don't lose heart, Mr. Naruhodo. As you wish, sir. The court nevertheless welcomes your return. Now then, opening statements, I think. A summary of the case, if you please. Oh, thank you. At least we get to know what's going on. Certainly, my lord. As your lordship is aware, this is a case of overwhelming simplicity. You must be the only ones in here who aren't aware. The incident took place in the late evening, 3 days past. The hour was some minutes after 10. The victim was a maker of building bricks known in the community as Thrice-Fired Mason. Sorry, thrice? He was a very accomplished craftsman. The bricks he fired were said to be almost indestructible. The victim's corpse was discovered in the omnibus in the service in the streets of London at the time. A dagger that had been thrust into the victim's abdomen is believed to be the ultimate cause of death. Here is the autopsy report from the investigating medical officer of Scotland Yard. At Scotland Yard. My bad, guys. Thank you, counsel. I shall accept that and the photograph as evidence. The autopsy report has been entered into the court record. The photograph of the crime scene has been entered into the court record. And one further item of evidence. The prosecution wishes to submit these as well. And those are... These are... Good lord! Is that blood, counsel? Yes, my lord. Seized by a policeman who arrived at the scene. These gore-soaked gloves were taken from the hands of the accused when he was arrested. Okay, so I get the feeling, and I'm fairly certain it's true, he was framed too, just like me when I was holding the gun, except this time, the accused was holding a bloody glove. What? Mr. Mcgilded's gloves had blood on them? Yes, I will accept these as evidence as well. The defendant's leather gloves have been entered into the court record. How did I get into this? I'm backed into a corner before I've even started. Continuing. According to the driver of the omnibus, there were only 2 passengers traveling inside his vehicle at the time. Only 2? Obviously, one of those passengers was the deceased brickmaker, Mr. Mason. The other was the accused, Magnus Mcgilded. Well, rather damning circumstances to say the least. Defendant, what say you? Well, of course I have no recollection of such a thing. Mr. Mcgilded! To be sure, I rode the omnibus that evening. But whenever I'm in a carriage, I'm taken with fierce tiredness and I always succumb to it. Yeah, that's me too, dude. Every time I'm in a car with someone and they drive off, I fall asleep too. Are you claiming to have been asleep? 'Tis the motion of the carriage, my lord. Lilting so it is, and when I opened my eyes again, was a desperate sight before me. The body of a man I'd never laid eyes on before in me life. I say bore. Now, I ask yous, what good-hearted soul wouldn't rush to help a fella bleeding from his stomach? I wasn't about to start worrying about me gloves now, was I? I reached out to give the man a hand. So the blood got onto the gloves then after the man had been killed. Unfortunately, that statement of the driver is only the beginning. What? That's not all of it? There are multiple witnesses to the precise moment at which the brickmaker was fatally stabbed. Odar! 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 When the killing took place, only the victim and the accused were inside the carriage, and there were witnesses to the crime. This is not a case of compelling evidence. The way this guy points, man, it's the nail in the coffin for the accused. Is everything gonna be vampirically related to your your appearance? Thank you, counsel. The circumstances of the crime have been made quite clear. I think we will hear testimony from these witnesses first of all. Your wish is my command. Bailiff, bring the witness in what? Bring the witnesses in at once. Guy's trying to be cool, man. Why is that guy's hat like tilting all around? Witnesses, your names and occupations. My name is, well, everyone calls me Beppo. I drive an omnibus in the East End. Bruce Fairplay. I'm a banker in the city. My name's First. Lady First. Ladies first? I, make hats for gents. Let's begin by confirming the facts. 3 days ago, at a short time after 10 o'clock in the evening, all of you present in the stand were in an omnibus and witness to the aforementioned incident. Is that correct? Yes, sir. Quite right. Yes, sir. That's right, sir. Very well then, let's proceed to your formal testimonies, please. Each of you will tell the court precisely what you saw. Oh, that's interesting. What the witnesses saw. It was the last bus of the evening, so I had a few customers. I remember it well. The victim and the man accused of killing him were sat next to each other inside the bus. Then out of the blue, the accused just reached over and plunged a knife right into his guts. That's right. He stabbed him. I screamed. I did. I couldn't help it. As soon as I heard the scream, I stopped my bus, and then I saw it too. Unambiguous testimony, I must say. Exactly, my lord. These men witnessed the incident in the omnibus with their own eyes. I'd like to ask a question if I may. Yes, counsel. Well, this testimony makes absolutely no sense to me whatsoever. Why not? Well, the incident took place inside a moving carriage, didn't it? As has been clearly stated from the outset, yes. Well, in that case, how could those two witnesses possibly have seen what happened? There's no way they could have seen the inside of the moving carriage. How quaint. I read that civilization in the Eastern Island nations was a good century behind our own. But you're here in London yourself. Are you really so ignorant about our omnibuses? Huh? Tell me, my Nipponese friend, have you even traveled in an omnibus? Well, no. We only arrived in London this morning. No matter. I've arranged for us all to see for ourselves the actual scene of the crime, that is. What do you mean? The actual scene? How? A carriage is designed to be moved, after all. Presumably you understand that much. Yes. The omnibus in which this bloody crime took place is here today in this very building. Here? What? The entire carriage? Bailiff. Bring forth the stricken omnibus. My guy here is all freaking dramatic. Oh wow, he really did bring it over, huh? So that's an omnibus. The omnibus. Alright guys, I'm gonna have to end the video here for today. Thank you all for watching. We're gonna continue on when we come back, and well, this is already an interesting trial we're getting into. So, thank you all. Until the next one.